Welcome back to the Experience Pros Radio Show. Thanks for taking time out of your business day to join us for ours. Hey, all the world's a stage. What's your role?
You know, my daughter, Lauren, has always been pretty quiet and shy, pretty much behind the scenes. But this year in college, she took a voice class, singing lessons.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, there is just something about her taking singing lessons, learning how to belt it out, that has brought out a side of Lauren that I think is going to take her so far. And I've always been a behind-the-scenes kind of gal up until I hooked up with the Experience Pros model. I was never on stage, never did any public speaking. And I'll tell you what, when you have an opportunity to truly shine,
oh yeah,
it opens up pathways that are unbelievable, that I think nothing else can. So we are proud to bring in Jim Ramsey with the St. Luke's Performing Arts Academy, and one of his students, Elise Collins, is here in the studio with us. Jim, welcome.
Good morning, thank you.
Thank you. Elise, welcome.
Hi.
Hi. You are so fantastic. Your poise, your face, your demeanor. How long have you been a performer, so to speak?
My first production was in first grade, and it was a play about Thanksgiving.
Wow.
Excellent.
All right. Jim, St. Luke's, where did you get started with St. Luke's Performance Academy?
This was a dream a long time ago, but we started St. Luke's Performing Arts Academy back in 2006, and it has been quite the journey since then. We started with 26 kids back in 2006, and now we have, just last year, we had over 500 kids involved in several different programs.
Why?
Why? Well, the fundamental aspect of why I even created this program was to transform the lives of students through the performing arts. There's incredible value when you talk about development in an educational sense, and as a former educator in New York, something that's very dear to me, and how I build kids and how I want to build kids. That's something that jazzes me versus conducting on large stages across the country or doing lots of other different things. But this really, I love doing this.
Well, you know, I spent several decades on stage myself as an illusionist, and so I have a strong regard for the performing arts in every element. Jim, did you have a background in theater as well? I mean, you said you were a teacher in New York, but how did that go?
My background actually stems from vocal education. I have a bachelor's in vocal education. I've got a master's in conducting and a doctorate in conducting. And my interest in theater actually stemmed from my wife. She was really into it, and I was like, okay. And so I started in college getting into musical theater, and then I realized the power and the fun, but also the ability to have confidence when you get on stage and you do something that you never thought was even possible.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's the biggest key.
You know, you think about, you know, some of the performances and watching our kids, you know, at church or in school, and as a parent, we're so proud, you know, to watch them shine and be in their little performances. But I don't really think that we recognize the path that will open for them to be comfortable on stage.
Well, it's one of the greatest things about this is that the mission is transforming the lives of students through the performing arts. What that actually does is it opens up these doors. We're building these kids. We're not only building their skills and confidence, but also their self-esteem. And that translates into so many different ways that these kids don't even realize. That transforms them from the inside out and what they do with it.
All right, so you've been performing since you were in first grade. Has this had an impact on your life? Tell our listeners a little bit about some of your successes.
It's definitely had an impact on my life. I've become so much more confident speaking in front of people, like speaking at our graduation, when I graduated from Thunder Ridge this spring, to just communicating with people. And the theater really teaches you how to listen and respond and empathize with the individuals around you. And I find that absolutely fascinating, because I see theater as the purest form of empathy in a way, because you have to completely understand a character and understand where they're coming from, and by doing that on stage it becomes that much easier in real life.
So give us an example, Elise. Where do you think you are going to go? I mean, are you headed to Hollywood? Are you going to Broadway? What's your dream?
My dream is to perform wherever possible, preferably on stage, and I love Shakespeare a lot, so.
Wow.
Yeah, but you've got some other talents as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. You actually, when I was introduced to you, tell us a little bit about you're going to college, right?
Yes, I'm going to the University of Colorado Boulder to major in theatrical performance and biology, and I'm also a Better Scholar.
Oh
She's a Better Scholar.
She's a Better Scholar.
It took me like 3 times to get used to it.
I have said this several times. I am not the brightest bulb in the knife drawer, but I am absolutely the dullest blade in this room. I can tell you that right now.
Now, you truly are a success story, and I'm sure that just makes you so proud, Jim, to see, yes, it opens the door in theater, but academically, leadership skills, all of that.
Well, that's exactly what it's about. I mean, it's great that kids want to go on to musical theater, but really I'm about building kids and actually changing the landscape of our culture through these performing arts, because these kids can own it, have self-esteem, take it into places that they want to go, such as biochemistry or anywhere else.
All right, St. Luke's Performing Arts Academy. Where is it located? How do people get involved? Do you have a performance coming up?
We do. We have a performance of valor where Elise is in as well, and it's next week. It's July the 17th and the 18th at Mountain Vista High School at 6 o'clock. And tickets are $10, and you can go to our website, www.stlukespaa.org, and you can check everything out. You can get your tickets there, but you can also learn how to get more involved or even get your kids involved.
How quickly after a performance will you start the next one?
The next Monday.
Oh my goodness.
And Jim, this is like summer camp all year round.
We've been doing this since June 2nd of this year. We've done several performances of Hairspray, Jungle Book, you name it.
Wow. Well, thank you so much, both of you, for joining us on the broadcast. It's fantastic. That address again for St. Luke's Performing Arts Academy, stlukespaa.org. Again, stlukespaa.org. Jim, thank you so much.
Thank you. It's been a privilege and an honor.
And the honor is all ours, Elisa. Thank you.
Thank you.
Elise, thank you very much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.